And we consider these four concentric circles. The first of all, we're pretty all familiar with the process of finding a new CEO. That's through the recruitment process. It might be global, it might be local, it might be internal. And a lot of recruiters will actually consider the internal candidates as well. The second is the fit. Will the CEO fit with the board, with the management team? We use a process called Hogan derailers. And as the name suggests, it actually looks at the derailing characteristics of an individual's leadership style. What does that mean? It actually looks at things like, if you have the bold characteristic, which is bold is self-confident, you might rub up your management team the wrong way if the majority of them are cautious. In other words, they're resistant to change. So by looking at it, and by the way, there is no right or wrong answer, but as a board, you need to be conscious of what do your management team look like, what does the board look like, and what does your new CEO look like in that fit characteristic. Because there is a high level of turnover of CEOs, and I don't have the statistics in front of me, in the first 12 months, right, where they don't fit. The other thing to consider is the receive. Is your organisation ready to receive the new CEO? Now, have you looked at, as a part of the prior to onboarding process, the expectations of the board and putting in place an evaluation or assessment process? Surprising in our board reviews that probably 50% of the boards that we review do not have a formal CEO assessment process in place. It's quite astounding. They might know the process, or one or two people might know the process, usually it's the chair, and the whole responsibility falls to the chair. But they don't have it documented, right? So how can expectations be managed as a part of that process? So we advocate, before you actually get the CEO on, there's two things you have to do. One, define your process for assessment, and that's the expectations of the board, and I'll go into that in a bit more detail in a moment. And two, the retain, have a legal contract. Now, I know you'll all probably say to me, yeah, everyone has a legal contract. Again, as we ask for their CEO review process, can you provide us the contract so we can just double check before we do a review that we're not contradicting anything in the contract? Oh, the contract's about 10 years old, or we don't have one, or we don't know where it is. And that's quite surprising. And these are listed companies that make these comments.